What's going on, y'all? This is B-Boy Boogie from the Breakologist Season 2. And as you already know, I'm always trying to prepare something cool for you. And this time, we have the pleasure to have an interview with Kool-A, my friend from Romania, who was established for a while in the UK. And he's about to organize the freestyle session European qualifier in Romania. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about his experience as an organizer in Romania and also in the UK. Now, Andrei is also a breaker for a good amount of years, an MC. So he's activating in the scene on multiple platforms and dimensions. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, bro. It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to the whole conversation. Um, what shall we start with?
So I took the time to write a few questions for you, but
Okay,
we
yeah,
we
so,
can freestyle and see where that goes. We can make it organic.
exactly. Yeah, that's fine. I like organic.
So when did you begin organizing breaking events and where?
Okay, so I started breaking 20 years ago, and I think after 2 years of breaking, I met Junior, one of your crewmates, from Frequency. And I got like inspired by his lifestyle back then and how versatile he was, not just breaking but also like a graphic designer, like a event organizer, and I was 16, and I just spoke with a couple of guys from my city, and we said like, yo, let's try and organize like a Christmas jam. And we did it. It just happened super quick. The club was offered it to us for free. They were happy to with the bar income and all that stuff. We had the door price, which the bar was happy for us to keep the money, and we used that to pay for the prize. And the judges were just local people from my city. And then the following year, I actually decided, like, I think I actually want to organize an event, like a proper event, and I came up with the Summer Hazard. And I was close to 17. I was just at the edge of 17, and I got like a 1,000 euro sponsorship from like the father of a girl from a different high school, that she was quite, you know, rich and stuff. And the dad had a really good business. And I heard that she was sometimes sponsoring like the ballrooms in high school or different type of events that the high schools were doing. So I shot my shot, and she sent me to meet her father. He gave me 1,000 euros just like that, like in 2006. This was like a lot of money. And I decided to not invite international judge, but instead to invest in like an international DJ. And people back then in Romania, they were investing in international judges, but not DJs. And back then, one of the hottest was DJ band Billy Brown from France,
Yep.
and I invited. And then I had a crew battle and a trigonometry one-on-one battle. You guys wanted the crew battle, if I remember correctly. Uh, yeah, that event, I didn't make any money. Money was never on my mind. I was 16, so I wasn't chasing that. I just wanted to do like cool things, like the guy, like I liked, like I want to be a cool b-boy, but I also want to know how to edit pictures or take videos or edit videos, do events. The following year, it happened again, simply because people were asking me about the event, and then the city mall offered to give me all the money for the event with the only what'd you say? The only thing they asked from me was just to move the event into the mall itself,
Mm.
and not in a private venue. So I did that. Since they paid for everything else, all the other costs, I didn't have to cover any of the other costs. So the event was in the mall now, kind of like how IB was one of the years, with like
Hmm.
multiple levels.
Yeah, I remember it.
Uh, the following year didn't happen, and then it came back the fourth year, the third edition of the Summer Hazard event, again because the mall asked me to do it again. I did a two-on-two random battle where you pick the dancers out of the hat. So you had people from, I think your cousin was there that year, from Norway or
Shortage's
Denmark. What was
cousin,
Schweizer's cousin? Yeah,
Leo
yeah.
from
No, yeah,
Sweden.
yeah, yeah. He was there that year. Dope, yeah. So it was quite dope battles, dope random two-on-twos and everything. The following year, I moved to UK to study.
Mm.
I joined MDK crew there with my best friend back then, Marius. He was already like a year ahead of me in the UK. He went to uni a year ahead of me. Um, and then when I moved there, I wanted to join the same crew as him, So I eventually I joined MDK. It took me like a year and a bit to join. Um, After university finished, to be honest, like events and all this type of stuff, it was never on my mind. Like never on my
Hmm.
mind. After I finished with uni, I started teaching in schools, like not just breaking, but also different sports, like a PE teacher.
Hmm.
And I was also teaching like after school clubs or breakfast clubs, and then the PE sessions. And I was also teaching swimming. So I was quite happy with
Yeah.
the amount of things sports and dance I was doing.
Dope.
Break, competing, and traveling with the crew and by myself as well. And then I got to a point where I realized I don't want to be employed by anyone anymore. I kind of want to start my own business or my own thing, and I want it to be just around dance.
Dope.
So I had to think of something, and I created Breaking League with one of my
Mm.
boys there, Paco,
So
and that was
is this competition for kids or adults in the UK? Breaking League?
in the UK. Yeah. So the Breaking League in the UK, we basically noticed that there wasn't too many kids competitions, and
Mm.
all these parents supportive, driving their kids 2 3 hours to these events, to these cities, and the kids were like getting smoked in the first round of the preliminaries. They weren't even making top 16. And we came up with the idea, yo, let's invest in like the future. Let's like start a league, like a
Hmm.
Premier League. It
Hmm.
and let's start like a Premier League where we organize like multiple events across the country, and we create ranking with, if you make top 16 you get 3 points, if you make top 8 you get another three. If you win you get a direct ticket to the final event, but the final event will only have like top 8 invites from the under 12s and under 16s. um, of course there will be cases where a kid will win multiple regionals if he attends multiple ones, but that's where the point system comes into place, and the other ones that accumulated the highest points will get to be invited to the event. So we started that. I started learning how to apply for funding because UK is
Hmm.
to, for example, Romania, UK is, they have more funding opportunities, and the sponsorship parts they rather come either in products or in-kind support like
Is this UK
venue.
or Romania?
UK.
Okay.
Yeah, so they would give you like space. They won't really give you like money like that.
Hmm.
Very small
Hmm.
amount.
Hmm.
The money from either funding sources or your income from the tickets or workshop sales, whatever you decide to sell at your event. In Romania, people are more inclined. I think in Europe in general, people are more inclined to sponsor because there's not much arts funding, or if there is, there's a really long process to obtain it. So you got to plan really ahead, like start the year ahead, send the projects and all that stuff. So luckily you have the brands that in Europe they want to sponsor, they want to get involved, and these brands, they can cut the cost of like the filming or lights or staging or uh, venue fully free, and they just get the money from income from what their sales are. You
And what do
have
you have to do for them? So if they give you a certain amount of money, for example, what do you have to do in exchange for that?
think it depends on each brand. For example,
Okay.
like what their target audience is and their visibility, what they want uh, to reach. Obviously, these sponsorship packages, they come in different like levels, like tiers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's give like a three different examples. Like you got the 500 euros, you got the 2,500, and then you got the 5,000. The 5,000 one, you can tell them like, okay, if you give me this much, then the event is renamed X event powered by
Okay.
name of the your name will appear on all the products, like videos and everything. You will be mentioned by all the artists, or I can get creative and get my judges to give a shout out to like this partner and that partner, for helping making this happen. The smaller sponsorships, like you only get the logos on certain things. Uh, at the end of the credits, with the main one, you can get your logo on the main floor type stuff. So it's different tiers. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them they just want content, they're just happy with the logo on the flyer, but they would like two videos ahead of the event content uh, about their products, or maybe a giveaway. Like I have one of my sponsors that I'm gonna do a giveaway this week from School Candy. They gave me like a really dope speaker, and I'm gonna film it with so this week coming. I got like a really nice idea to present this giveaway for the speaker. So yeah, they all come with different, you know, needs, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the day with sponsorship, bro, if you understand what their need is, they will give you everything you need, and they can. If you can help them with their pain point, then
Mm-hmm.
you're in their pocket. Like you're good.
Nice. Well, thank you for
Yeah,
sharing. But let me ask you this. Where do you think is easier to get sponsorships, UK or Romania?
I think Romania, bro. I've got.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. From my perspective, I've been in the UK for the last 14 years, so
Mm-hmm.
my within the Romanian community, especially within the events and like brands and everything, it's unknown. I'm a nobody,
Mm-hmm.
and I moved here 6 months ago. I just reached 6 months since I moved here. I moved in November. I started working in January on Be Humble. In March, I announced it, and yeah, within these 4 months interval, I managed to get really, really crazy deals and prizes. I think the overall total cost of the prizes from all three categories is around 9K, 10K in euros.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Dope, man.
It's
Well,
it's
congratulations.
a lot of goodies. Thank you. The flights to freestyle session for two kids and two adults. Um, it's I think is gonna be dope, and I definitely think it's a lot easier here to get sponsorships and just to network, and just to open that door to have that
Dope.
conversation.
So Romania not only gives you money easier, it also gives you the entire sponsorship easier. Shout
I
out to
mean, if
Romania.
if they if they see what you're talking about, and they see
Yeah.
you're
Well,
serious about your work, of course, bro. Yeah, they're with you. They team up.
dope. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So you started in Baku, Romania with the Christmas jam in the club.
yeah.
Um,
It was a 3-on-3 event.
3-on-3 event in 2006.
Yeah, 2006.
2006. Moved to the United Kingdom and got involved in the scene there. And now you're
Yeah,
organizing and hosting Freestyle Session East Europe qualifier for the first ever. I mean, this is the first ever freestyle session qualifier in Romania. Tell us
yeah.
about Be Humble and the
There
freestyle
were only
session East Europe qualifier.
so I think from the research I did, there's only in the history of freestyle session they only had three European qualifiers, and out of these three, they only happened recently in the last few years. One in Italy, and then these two this year. Another one in Italy, which is going to be the West Europe qualifier, and
Hmm.
then and one that is Eastern European. The only difference is the one in Italy they call it freestyle session European qualifier, With me, I wanted to my my vision when I moved back. I want to create something for the scene here, for the country, where I could attract international talent
Hmm.
and dope international talent for our local scene to get the opportunity to battle these people, because not all of them can afford to travel internationally,
Right.
and I
Which
have
was always a
maybe
problem in Romania.
exactly. So I decided, how can I make them battle international cheaper in a way,
Hmm.
for them, you know.
Yeah.
It's not that the event is expensive, but for them in a way, rather than booking flights and hotel, I thought, wow, let's try and create something that maybe in like 5 to 10 years you will be the caliber of like Outbreak, or who knows, maybe IBE, if I extend to more styles and a lot more days and everything. So yeah, I
Go,
decided
bro.
this year one day type of event. I'm gonna do a workshop as well with Stripes, and yeah, I'll see how this one turns out, but definitely I think it's gonna turn out good. And next year it will happen again, and probably the following years as well, because it's looking
Oh,
that way
snap.
so far.
Dope.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what Be Humble is.
So it started with I work with an ONG, non-profit organization here in Romania, in Bucharest, called Art and Sport Supersonic, and it's a couple of guys from a really OG crew from Romania, Supersonic crew, that they founded this non-profit organization 4 years ago. And what they do, they're basically like a like a philanthropist,
Hmm.
like they just do it out of good intentions.
Hmm.
um, and For the last 4 years, they basically invested in the best in Romania, which is
Hmm.
like, unfortunately, in the last few years, it's only like a handful of people, like Carla, Armand, So Beat, just a few of
Hmm.
them, a few of them, Lucas. Um, I moved here, and I started working with them, offering them like consulting sessions about how we should lead the organization in a broader direction and bigger view and everything, rather than focusing just on a handful of people. Let's try and reach more, because they wanted that as well. It's just they didn't know how. Plus, they also
Hmm.
have full time jobs. They're not into the arts and dance like I am full time. They have normal jobs. One is works in IT, the other one's something similar. So completely different lifestyles.
Hmm.
I came in here, and they asked me like, well, let's do something. What can we do? And I told them the best thing I think we can do, and also set you up on the Romanian map as art and sport, and their first ever event official.
Hmm.
I can a dope event under your portfolio.
Hmm.
I can try and bring really dope people, here, and I'll try and start some international collaboration, so we can attract international talent as well.
Nice.
Uh, but
How,
they didn't expect all this to happen. They thought it was like really like a long
I don't know
shot,
if anybody expected a freestyle session qualifier.
Yeah. Uh, and that, yeah, we decided, they decided to give me 70% of the budget,
No.
and I had to bring the rest.
Well, shout
And
out
yeah,
to Art and Sports, man, for investing in the
definitely
breaking scene, in the Romanian scene. Shout out to them.
for sure, bro, for sure. They've been doing so much for the last 2 years. Just, bro, from small things like small donations, like sending t-shirts, sending headspin hats, to random clubs in Romania, where they have some breaking students and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Even covering different teachers travel and their students, to battles and stuff like that. That's all they've been doing basically for the last 3 years, paying for travel, gifting clothes or headspin hats, or paying for travel, flights, and accommodation type stuff.
Yep.
So yeah,
And the Romanian breakers also has some good results. So,
yeah, yeah. They're pushing. They're traveling quite a lot as well. Um, I'm looking forward to see them also like be humble
yeah.
against, like, in their home country. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
against
Me too.
heads and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm rooting for them. We train together. So also art and sport uh, grants these people with free training space. 3 times a week. Um, they never have to pay for it or anything like that. The only condition is to come to train. I think after Be Humble, because in the last few months we were all kind of busy with work and stuff like that. But I think after Be Humble, I'll have to structure the sessions a little bit more. And majority of the people kind of voted that if you miss 2 weeks in a row, you should be kicked out basically from the group because a lot of them start to feel like quite serious about breaking and about what they want to do. And it's dope because it's their perfect age. It's like they're 21, 20, 24 max. So that's what they should do. Lucas is like 18, Carla is 16.
Oh
She's in
snap!
October 17. So that's exactly what they should do. And yeah, we're gonna we're gonna be really strict after Be Humble with the training sessions, to be honest.
Well, shout out to y'all, man. That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah,
That's dope
yeah.
because it's
Push.
hard to keep people in practice. It's hard to stay consistent for long. But yeah, maybe with people like you and arts and sports, people that are showing support and represent as pylons of support in the culture, the newer generation can be serious about making progress and keep pushing forward because Romania has had a breaking scene for a long time, and we're not up there like we
Yeah,
should.
yeah.
I
I know.
think, you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
we have
I know.
a
I know.
few good generations of dope breakers, but not too many people
Yeah,
know about us. So yeah, shout out to
I
y'all
think.
for making all of this, man. That's dope.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Shout out to art and sport as well, because like I just started this. I just joined last year, and we're collaborating. We're working together, um, and we're definitely gonna be working together because they're happy with what I'm doing with the event so far, and we're all happy. We're like a happy team. sounds sounds
Dope.
funny, but yeah,
Let
it's
me
all
ask
good.
you one more question about Be Humble.
Tell me.
So, for first of all, two questions. So, Be Humble is the stamp, and freestyle session is the main event of
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
Humble.
So basically, it just life aligned this way that initially I wanted crew versus crew qualifier for World Breaking Classics the following week after Be Humble.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
there was some sad news on their behalf with their funds. They lost around 20K in funding, and they couldn't afford anymore to hold two qualifiers. The one in America, in US, there was meant to be a World Breaking Classic crew qualifier, and then the one in Romania. Luckily, I haven't announced the event at that point. So at that point, the event wasn't announced. But at that point, my event was like this: two versus two main event with 8 international crews invited and 8 spots to qualify. And then you had the crew qualifier event for Wall Breaking Classic. That would have been like the international partner. So a different event just to send you somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I got the sad news from Paul. So it couldn't happen because even the license fee that you pay for these partners, they first of all they're not like huge brands, so they don't think they charge like crazy money. They just charge like a small amount, but that small amount realistically doesn't cover their expenses when your people, your winners, get to their country.
Hmm.
Taking them from the airport, paying for their hotels and all that, especially for like a crew, which is like 8 people. Um, so then I hit up Cross and we spoke. I told him what I want to do. He got back to me straight away. He told me, let me get back to you after Hong Kong. He was in Hong Kong for Under the Lions Rock, a really dope event. And yeah, he hit me up after, and we spoke. We had like a Zoom call about an hour, and we spoke. I told him exactly, what I want to do and everything. And then I decided, seeing that the World Breaking Classic didn't happen, I don't want to go under that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be higher than that or at the same level. And I decided, let's try freestyle session, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Dope.
he was super happy that I reached out. And here's where the funny part is: freestyle session this year will be main event 2-on-2.
Oh, snap. Dope.
So what I did, I dropped out my international invites. I messaged them and told them, change of plans. My event is now going to be a freestyle session qualifier. And because the main event for their event is a 2-on-2, I need to make my event fair play. I can't have international people paid to be here and then others to fly on their own and like qualify and everything and then battle you all rested, all
Yeah,
slept
yeah,
and
yeah.
paid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it
Mm-hmm.
lined up to 2-on-2. And yeah, and same with the kids. He then told me like I also have a 2-on-2 kids category under 16, and I said cool. Then I want to send you two kids as well. I want to open this up for kids, because which kids had ever had this opportunity in Romania? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what made you go with this line of judges? So you have Stripes,
Uh,
Kid Karam, and Vicious.
yeah. So there, I worked with them in the past also in UK. Let's start with Kid Graham, for example. Is like the golden child of the UK, one of the best Nike athlete, Team GB athlete. He's one of the most humblest people ever to ever meet. Super professional, bro. At the beginning when the Breaking League wasn't funded, when I wasn't making applications for funding and I was getting my funding, uh, this guy was always always offering to judge for free and to come for free, and even when he wasn't invited to judge, he would come to battle, bro. And he always supported my work, is especially because he's also like really like encouraging the next generation to be strong and everything. So that resonated with him, and we always bonded. But before that, we knew each other as b-boys. We battled many times and stuff like that in the finals. So we had this relation quite tight. Vicious and Stripes, I had them invited to one of my events in 2022, I think it was, Grand Slam in London. And that was an event collaboration with UK Champs. Um, and we bonded really good. There were bros. We've been in touch all this time. And with Romania, I decided, it's unfortunately we have the stereotype that we're Romanians, and for people that have never been here, they only experienced Romanians abroad, and in most cases, unfortunate situations. I I knew like I'm starting a little bit with a couple of minus points in terms of like international rep as a country. So in my head was I need to attract people to make them trust me that this is going to be a good event, that this is going
Mm-hmm.
to be a respected event. I need to make them comfortable to come here, and if they see that this respected lineup of judges and DJ and host like Cross One and the others are so excited, and like they're like, yo, it's my first time there, I'm looking so for, bro, Karam asked me to extend his stay because he wants to visit, like he wants to stay longer.
Nice.
They all stay about 4 or 5 days.
Ooh,
It's just a day, yeah. So just think about it, because they all want to come and visit. They've never been here,
that's what's
and
up.
for me to attract people from like really top level European countries, I'm not saying like everyone like thinks bad of us or anything like that. However, we do have certain stereotypes that they may or may not be true, and I just want to present this event with a really respected lineup, really respected collaboration. If people have been here in the past and they had negative experiences, I wanted this to be like a clean slate. Let's try and let's show you that we can do things as well like they do it abroad, international and stuff like that, because it is possible. And yeah, that was the whole idea of the lineup. And also, it's really easy for me to work with people that are also friends of mine. Um and if they're professional, I would work with them my entire life. It's just unfortunately you
Hmm.
can't invite the same people at every event. But being a first in Romania, all three of them are here for the first time. Cross as well. Kung Fu would have been first as well, but I brought him in January for like a club party where he had a really full night, like sold out night type of event. Satanel was the one organizing these monthly nights, inviting like an international DJ, and the first one was Kung Fu. So yeah, for him it will be second time this year, January and now
Dope.
June. But everyone else, they're here for the first time, and yeah, I think all the people, the Sheku, Sunny, Gracie, Chat, all these guys that message me in private and they ask me about tickets or how to book stuff. Yeah, they're here for the first time. They've never been here, so I'm really looking forward to give them like a really really amazing, dope experience. And the
Nice.
event is shaped to be really versatile.
Dope, bro. That's awesome. I'm happy for you.
Thank you,
So
man.
we talked a bit about your upcoming event, which is on June 21st.
Yeah, that's
June
correct. Yeah,
21st. So if you're in Europe, if you're close to Romania, if
flights are
you're
cheap
not
to be
in
there.
Europe and you're not close to Romania, Be Humble is happening on June 21st in Bucharest. And you already heard the man, dope judging, dope DJ. Crust One is gonna be there. Andrei will also be the MC and the organizer.
Yeah,
So if you have time, make some time to go get those tickets. Now
for
let's
sure.
put everything aside from what we talked, and can you give us a few key things to have for organizing an event? What are the things you first look for? What advice would you give to someone looking to organize their first event?
The first event, which most of the time for a lot of people, it's either like a local jam or a national event. Uh, for those that are lucky enough to find the right person to sponsor them, they can afford to do that. I think first and foremost, just have a really good structure of how the day is running as a schedule. What time is the setup? What do you need in terms of setup? Stage, seating, or what if you got to think of all the things that you need, and then the more strict you are with the schedule, the happier everyone is.
Hmm.
Because when everything is delayed, people get hungry, people get tired, people get hungry, and they're not gonna cheer up for the event anymore. For the finals, will look boring. It will affect the energy. Will just affect everything else. The mood
Hmm.
swing
Hmm.
translated into everything. The more activities you have for your spectators, for your audience at your event, the better it is. Because you can't just keep them 8 hours to just watch people spinning on their head and hands
Hmm.
and just
Okay. So have something on the
so
side
think
too that
of
they can do.
exactly think of like stalls, some snack stalls, food stalls, sweet, maybe some even things like foosball, foosball tables, or uh, I'm trying to bring like a masseur for mine
Hmm.
to offer like a 5 to 10 minute like local massage on the
Hmm.
spot for dancers on the
Yep.
day. Uh, do some live graffiti, with local artists. Show so people can watch and see like, wow, they also can do this. Offer them a chance to try a spray can on one of the boards as well. Get them to get involved as well, not just to watch. If
Right.
they can get the chance to put their hand on a spray can or on a marker to give a tag, that's them living the experience, not just
Hmm.
visualizing experience. So the imprint in their memory is going to last a little bit longer that way,
Nice.
especially if the point of the event is to attract new people into the culture. you got to make them feel welcome, like have a nice chill area, have a nice, like Outbreak did really nice. They have like a basketball area, they have like hoops, they have like some football, small gates, they have bean bags to chill. They have a bar, they have a food court, just different types of food, like from pastas to some pizzas. Not a crazy variety, but like
Hmm.
just different, because people have different needs, different dietary needs nowadays. Some people have allergies and stuff. So just think of all those. And I know they sound like probably something normal that people nowadays should think of, but actually, as a participant or visitor, having all this variety of things to do, you enjoy the day way more. And when you go home, you actually go home driving home or thinking like, yeah, that was a good day today. You
Hmm.
know. So when I organize my events, I think of me when I went to all the international battles, the national battles in the UK, and also in Romania when I first started and everything. Just try and line up all the best experiences that I had and what made it good for me, other than the battles themselves or the
Hmm.
DJ playing like music or the judges being like engaged and looking like they enjoyed the battles, not like bored and falling asleep during the battle. What other stuff besides those main event things actually made me enjoy those? And I remember once in France, I think it was Evolution Europe qualifier. I was with the crew there, and that's where I saw this massage thing. It was like 2016, 2015, and there was just a person paid by the event, obviously paid by the event organizer, and it was staff of the event. They had their own massage table and everything set up. Bro, that guy, he never had a break. He was there for 5 hours only, but people were queuing.
Oh yeah, I
So
believe it.
how long until the next slot? I've got three more people after this, so come back in 40 minutes. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So go back in 40 minutes for a quick 10-minute fix
Yeah,
on your elbow, knee, or stuff like that. And yeah, that stood up to me. I was like, man, one day I'm gonna do that.
nice.
And other
That's
things
dope.
like that. Only I line them up and I try to create my own shape of my own events and structure. But obviously, bro, the more budget you have, the more you can look into these quality events, and then the audience will really feel amazing, and they will
Hmm.
have an amazing and everything, you know like
Dope.
free gifts and prizes or more opportunities for crowd to win stuff as well. These are things, that you can add to make everyone feel happy, not just the winners. For me, in the future, I would eventually like to get to have up to top 8 people paid, or top 16 type of stuff. You know what I mean? So eventually, the more this project will grow, I would like to just trickle down into the ladder and make even those that make top 16. And this idea comes from like none other than Silverback and UDEF, when they used to do it and pay the top 100. Bro, that was amazing. That
Yep,
was
I
when I
got
heard
paid
that.
too.
Yeah, yeah, and not just paid, you also get like a little goodie pack, like a
Oh,
cap, or I
everybody.
heard. Yeah,
Everybody
that's what I
had
heard.
one free meal, a bag of clothes that had a hat, t-shirt, and I think something else, and a bag.
What was the first question?
So the first question was, what has been the most rewarding part
Rewarding,
of
yes. I think,
organizing breaking events?
bro, I think the most rewarding is just seeing the event while there and seeing everyone like enjoying it and being
Hmm.
happy. And that feeling gets emphasized after the event again when I start hearing the good feedback about the event. So when you hear people had a good time, that's
Hmm.
like a really good emotional reward to me. It's like, man, yeah, that was good. It was worth it. All the
Yeah.
hours, all that stuff, the nerves, the emotions, everything was worth it. How do I balance this?
Hmm.
I I w- I wasn't always doing this, but I had to learn. And I think thanks to the UK scene, with goods, with bads, I learned how to separate the b-boy persona which has a distinct taste to breaking and to what breaking is and what breaking should be, and my own artistic view on breaking as a b-boy, how to separate that from the organizer persona. And once I understood that, I started to not take stuff personal when I was organizing stuff, and that that works, and it worked really well. And since then, I never had issues with that because I keep these two separate. So when I
Hmm.
go into my org mode, because the project is coming closer and closer, I just isolate all the artistic opinions, or just people's opinions or ideas or everything. I just stick to the plan, to the structure. um, Once that's done, I can go back to the cipher, to training, and if there's any need for talks or conversations, like, we can sort it out. I still got a few more years in the tank, so yeah. But luckily, yeah, it's I think it's really important to know how to stay professional, and keep your artist view away, because they're two different industries in a way. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
One is focused on working with a broader area of people, while the other tends to focus just on the community. You know what I mean? Or just on the industry, which is breaking itself. And
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I know that you want to put your stamp, especially coming from the UK into Romania, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Like, I'm excited about seeing all those dope names there. Like you said, seeing the
thank
Romania scene, experiencing all of that. Because you're right, Romania has had uh, decades maybe of financial struggle when it came to experience dope events. Not dope events, but renowned events like Freestyle Session, So,
you.
yeah, thanks
Yeah,
to people like you, arts and sports, um, you're making it happen. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah, bro, for sure, yeah. I'm looking forward, and also to next year and everything. I'm planning to do a league here as well, like I did in the UK, you know, which is going to be focused just for the Romanian scene, just on the Romanian scene, sorry. Um, it's like a series of 4 events, and then the winners from that get to like the fifth event, which is like a national finals. And yeah, I think Be Humble's going to finish and this year. And straight after that, I need to start planning the league, because I want to start kicking it this year. And I want to do it in 4 different cities, like travel with it in 4 different cities, and then the fifth city again in the capital, because this is where I'm based now, and I think this is where it's gonna be easier for me to get partners, connections, networks, and everything.
Dope.
So
Well,
yeah, I'm
thank.
looking at more than just Be Humble, basically. Like,
That's awesome. That's awesome, as you should.
yeah,
Well, thank you once again, man, for doing this. I appreciate you and your cat chilling
thank you,
there.
bro.
It's definitely a pleasure, and yeah, we'll keep in
My
touch.
pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure, bro.